It's been 5 weeks and 1 whole day since I last used 2.5 milligrams of Mounjaro. So let's discuss side effects, hunger, food noise, and the result on the scales. Am I managing to maintain the weight loss, or am I starting this early on to become one of the 60 to 80% statistics of people that will gain the weight back? Spoiler alert, there have been elements of this week which have been unbearable. Let's just get straight into it. Side effects. So the most positive side effect that I've had this week is that I've observed the hair shedding to have reduced to probably what would be normal range. If it was like that prior or on my journey, I wouldn't have ever been worried about it. So that's a bonus. So happy about that. In terms of unbearable side effects this week, I've just been hit with a flood of tiredness, and I have felt exhausted this week. It's come out of nowhere. There's not really a reason that I would feel exhausted. I've been struggling to do much of anything. I pushed myself to get my steps in, and I've been thinking, am I not eating enough? But I am. I'm eating averagely 2,300 calories a day, pretty much all of good food. I'm knackered, like I'm ready to go to bed pretty much at any point in the day. There's been a couple of days where I've had a nap and I probably could have just slept through. I've just been hit with exhaustion the same way that when I first stopped taking it, I had a couple of weeks, and I think a couple of weeks ago I talked about having a sudden burst of energy. That's not there. I feel absolutely knackered this week. And another side effect that I've noticed is I've just felt really low at points this week. I don't know if it's to do with the exhaustion or a combination of things, but I felt really low and really unmotivated and incredibly anxious, and that propelled with the exhaustion, they exasperate one another. And it's been a week where I've had to really push on all of my resources to motivate myself to do pretty much anything. I think left to my own devices, I would have shut the door in my bedroom and just slept the whole week through and barely moved. Hunger. So I have also noticed this week that I have continued to be really hungry. I'll eat and I could continue to eat. I'm continuing to have the sort of 5 smaller portions a day. I started making some snacks to give. I felt like sweet things this week as well, which doesn't surprise me because I felt low and I felt really exhausted, and I've always gone to junk food at those points. So I have been making some sweet treats, which I found quite helpful actually, because there's a therapeuticness in making them. And also when I'm making them, I'm not thinking about eating them so much. So that's been something I've managed this week, but I'm absolutely still finding that I am hungry quite a lot. And I talked in my last video about how I'm managing that. I'm still managing it that way. I am practicing mindfulness. That's been more difficult because I felt so tired and also felt quite low this week. So I've just had to really, as I said, pull on all of my resources and just get through, and know as well that actually when I felt this way before, I would turn to food. And I've always then, immediately had that dopamine and felt maybe slightly better while I'm eating. Straight away afterwards, felt like crap, hated myself for it. And I'm using the mindfulness techniques this time to say, well, actually, you're feeling these ways, which is probably why you want this food. Equally, you're going to feel worse after you've had this food because you know that's what happens. And that's been pushing me through. So as much as it's not nice to feel exhausted and low and anxious, the mindfulness is really helping with not falling into bad habits. So the food voice, not much to report. The food voice just hasn't come back. And I put in the comments to somebody on one of the community posts that I did about what are people most worried about if they stop Mounjaro and, hunger, food voice. And I put in the comments in a reply that actually the food voice went about 3 weeks ago now. And it's like a false sense of security. Like I'm looking for the food voice. Where is it? Is it under the sofa? Is it in the fridge? Is it in the car? Where's the food voice? And I've been spending more time thinking about, is the food voice going to come back? But it hasn't. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know if that's a permanent fixture. Let's hope that it is, but it hasn't come back. And that makes the hunger manageable because using the mindfulness techniques and knowing that I'm eating smaller portions more often, I know that I'm going to eat, and I know that it's not real hunger. It's just the sense of wanting to continue to eat, which has always been there. But without the food voice, that's manageable. So I had the food voice for several weeks before it disappeared and I managed it. It's now gone, but it is a bit of a false sense of security. And as I said, I am a bit like, where's the food voice? Is it going to appear in Tesco's and am I suddenly going to be unable to manage? But it's yeah, I'm spending more time thinking about where the food voice is as opposed to having the food voice, which I can't think of a time in my adult life where I have, or even my teenage years, where I haven't had the food voice. So last to talk about, I suppose, is the result on the scales. And the result on the scales is that I've maintained. Yay! So I am still 10 stone 3, which I think is 143 pounds or 64 kilograms. If that's wrong, I will put somewhere here that it's wrong. I think that's right. More than happy with that. I'm not looking to lose any more weight. I'm giving myself a cushion, sort of 3 pounds underneath, 5 pounds above, because I'm so much lower than the weight that I had a cut-off point of, which I think was 10 stone 7, something like that. So yeah, successful result is that currently I am not falling into that 60 to 80% bracket. And historically, I've always been at a point now, I would have been 2-3 stone up by now quite easily. So it's a bonus all round. It's been a difficult week, elements of it unbearable, but we are where we are. So yeah, that's my roundup. Very brief one. In terms of what I've got coming up, I am working on what I eat in a day. That will be out on Monday at 2 o'clock. So look out for that one. And hopefully that puts sort of visuals to what I've been talking about in terms of the changes I've made with my food and my eating pattern now, and how I'm managing to get through the hunger. Any questions? As always, please put them in the comments. Let me know what's worked for you this week. Any suggestions of anything would be great, because it's always brilliant to learn. And I've had some really awesome suggestions about podcasts and how people are managing their hunger, which I'm going to listen to and give a try. So thank you for those. If you haven't, please do like the video and consider sharing it. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to follow me on this journey, and I will see you on Monday.